Good morning and welcome to ONIF TV. My name is Nubia First. I trust we all had beautiful weekends. Starting off, a lawyer is going to sue Buhari, that's the federal government, for his aides. He said that the aides are working without reappointment. Now we know how these things work is that when the tenure of the president that was over on the 29th of May, it's normal that every parastatal or every officer that works with the president, they officially are no longer in office. And if the president is coming back, they have to be reappointed. Now, this lawyer is saying that the president on no account has reappointed his aides and they're still working, and he said that is is defiling the constitution, because constitutionally they should be reappointed before working. So that's what he said basically, that the president and his aides are defying the constitution, and he's suing the president to court. That it brings us to maybe realize that there are so many things that we probably have skipped, over time. Like, oh, is this normal? Maybe not, and we just leave it like that. So, well, somebody is taking situations into their hands now, and is saying that he is going to actually sue the president. And he said that the aides have to be reappointed. But do you think it's possible that they were reappointed without the media knowing about it? I don't think that's possible anyway, because I'm trying to look at all the sides perspective to the story. Or maybe they just had to, I don't know. Anyway, let's see how that case goes. Let's see if the presidency would release a report to say that they were actually reappointed, regardless, or they didn't have to be reappointed. We're actually waiting for the reaction of the presidency to that one. But when this this story came up, there were some comments on that, and somebody's like, starts the thing that we should actually be focusing on in Nigeria right now. But the truth is, when little things are done without following due process, I mean, it makes a bigger mess of everything eventually. So, although let's see how the president actually reacts to that. There's no reaction from them yet. So OSUN State Polytechnic Ire, during the weekend, they lost one of their students, Aminu Ahmed, who is in HND 1. The guy, during the Ramadan fast, they're writing exams currently during that period in the school. The guy fainted during one of the exams, and he was rushed to the sick bay. Now, as expected anyway, there are two sides to the sick bay story. The students part have said that the health facility in school was poor, and that's why they were not able to resuscitate the boy. Now the school management is saying that the health facility was okay, and they did everything that they could to resuscitate the boy, and then drove him in an ambulance to another hospital, and he died before he arrived at the hospital. Those are the two sides to the story, which is very much expected. Anyway, apparently the students were not having it. They blamed the school for his death, and some students actually took to vandalize the sick bay. Now, as much as probably students should really get angry that he could have been saved if the facilities in school were actually up to standard, if the sick bay, the health center, if he had enough equipment, if he had qualified staff to run the place, they have the right to be angry and protest about that. But now, destroying the sick bay, the health center, what if somebody else needs the health center? And two wrongs don't make a right. Violence is never the answer. If you want to go on protest, talk to the government, talk to the school management, I expect improvement. It's understandable, but when you have to get to the point of actually destroying properties, that's what I'm not okay with. It's really annoying when you probably pay health fees and then you realize that the health center that you're even paying for is not he can't treat anything or anybody. It's annoying to think about, and it's okay to protest that, but it's not okay to destroy properties. And although, like I said, there are two sides to the story. The school management definitely always have their own part of the story, and the students will always will have their part of the story. But the part that everybody is overlooking is that this guy was during Ramadan. He was fasting. Apparently, the fast is 30 days long, and he was fasting, and he did not have stamina. Shouldn't there be a sort of like excuse for people who are not strong enough to not participate? Or I don't know, that was what happened really. The guy was weak, he didn't have stamina, and he fainted, and probably he had health conditions before. We don't know about that, but the circumstances also surrounding his death is the fact that we should not neglect that it was a period of the compulsory Muslim fast, and he fainted as a result of loss of stamina and energy. And the way going to exam halls can probably be rowdy, maybe the fact that he was reading on empty stomach, and I don't know, just many things that we should put into consideration while looking at the matter. And condolences to his family. It's not nice to lose a child, and also to the students also, their grievances are actually well understood, but violence is never ever the answer. And school management should please, the health center is a very core part, is a core part of the school building or whatever school project it is. Very important, and that's one thing that schools fail to recognize. They tend to focus more on let's build this, and they're not really focusing on the health center. Students actually need this. Some of them pay health fees, and paying the health fees mean that you get probably free treatment or a discounted treatment at the health center that the school owns. So the health center shouldn't be joked with. If that health center was standard, the boy would have been able, he would have been handled there. And if the ambulance probably had enough resources or something, maybe he wouldn't have died on his way to the hospital. Maybe. Probably, as the Muslims will always say that it is the will of Allah, so they probably accept it like that. So moving on, Uganda has banned sachet alcohol. How do I explain sachet alcohol? I think it's actually pretty easy. Those 50 naira or 60 naira stuff that you guys buy now, dry gin and all the stuff that is inside sachet. So apparently the Uganda government has banned it, and they've also increased the price of alcohol so as to regulate the way he flows into the society, and to probably also make sure that maybe minors do not get access to alcohol drinking, and maybe to restore sanity, maybe to just, we need sanity in this country, and this is one of the ways by which it can be achieved. Now, if the ban should have happened in Nigeria, probably a lot of people would have probably gone on rampage. Like, how would you do that? We survive with this stuff. That would have probably been the case. I don't know, but eventually, as Nigerians, we find a way to get used to situations. It can be both good and bad, but they have gotten used to it eventually. Anyway, the Uganda government has banned sachet alcohol that is sold in sachet, and they've also said that any alcohol making company that doesn't comply with the ban, that still produces and releases sachets into the society, would actually be closed down. Well, that's that for Uganda. Okay, moving on. If you probably follow the news and you are a social media enthusiast, you know about the Drake course. Well, that's what it is basically. There've been cases of football clubs, players. You take a picture with Drake, and then your next match you lose the next match. That's been happening for a while now. Anthony Joshua AJ lost he lost three belts to Andy Ruiz. During it was a challenge. Initially, he was supposed to play with Miller. It was supposed to fight. The fight was supposed to be AJ and Miller, but Miller didn't pass some of the drug test. So 5 weeks to the fight, Andy was Andy put in to fight AJ, and everybody was actually sure that AJ was going to win the fight and then Joshua was going to win the fight, and eventually didn't win any of the 4 rounds actually. And people have come out to say it's the Drake curse again. And although AJ and his management are definitely going to request a rematch, as he has said that it's just a test period for him, and he has vowed to reclaim his belt too. It was a stunning moment. It was a moment of what? Yeah, it was that kind of moment that you're actually like, what just happened? That's what everybody. That's probably the thought on majority's mind, like, did that just happen? That's what we're thinking. Anyway, now there's been also rumors flying around. I don't know how true it is, that Andy Ruiz actually got £4 million for the fight, and AJ, regardless that he lost, he actually got £20 million for the fight. That happened, Sha. So that also happened, and it makes you look at the Drake course, and well, so there'll be a rematch. We don't have any details on the rematch. I don't think AJ himself has the details on the rematch, but when there's details, we'll let you know. Also, over the weekend, Liverpool won the finals against Tottenham with scoring 2-0, and there was also drama on the field as this bikini model, swimsuit model actually, she played a prank. She ran on the field during the match, and well, it was probably for promotion of business, so she was taken out, and her boyfriend actually has played. That's the director of the clothing company. He has played that kind of prank before, and he took to social media to actually say, I can't wait to marry you to her, after pulling that prank. After she pulled that prank. So you can imagine what kind of fun family or crazy family that will be. Anyway, that's the bit for now on ONIF TV. My name is Nonye Priest. Thank you for watching.